Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Life on Mars. Last time on Life on Mars we had episode 1. They don't get episode titles. That's just dumb. Not the point. Last time around, so we started off with DCI Sam Tyler, who was working a case when suddenly he is sent back to 1973, where a similar case seems to be popping up about a person who kidnaps women, holds them hostage for about a day or so, and then ends up killing them. Luckily, through his knowledge of evidence in the future, he is able to figure out everything else, and he figures out the case and cracks it and solves the case in 1973. However, he's having some hard times in 1973, mainly because he doesn't understand why the hell he's in 1973. So yeah, and that causes some conflict between Sam and his new boss, Gene Hunt, and a little bit of the only person on the team who's even willing to like slightly hear him out, which is Annie Cartwright. And then, yeah, so it's possible he may have changed time, actually, so that the killer won't get out in 2006 and go killing again. So, it's possible, but we really don't know how any of this works, so, yeah. And then at the end, he thinks that he can return to the world the world of 2006 by jumping off a building. However, he just can't bring himself to do it, and he decides to stay. And that's where we are. So, yeah. Now, last episode was hit with some copyright problems. I don't know whether or not it was resolved as of yet. I'm recording this episode before the last episode has even gone out to Patreon, so I don't know fully how it's going to go. However, it is entirely possible that I will have taken the reaction out of this video. Basically, what that means is if you want to watch my reaction to Life on Mars, you might have to go down in the description or into the pinned comment to watch it at another link. However, it's entirely possible that won't be the case, and the reaction will start up in a few seconds. So, you'll see, basically. If a little thing pops up on screen and tells you to go to the description, then you're going to have to do that. If not, the reaction will just start up as normal, and yeah, we'll see. We'll just have to see about this. So with that said, let's go ahead and see as we get into episode 2 of Life on Mars. Here we go.
Who the hell are you? Gene Hunt, your DCI, and it's 1973.
You know something interesting? So, the color grade, I don't really care for it. I think it's a, dingy, dark one. However, I have noticed that it's only in 1973 that this sort of color grade is there. And in the scenes in 2006, the color's actually pretty decent. So I like that they sort of use the color grade to make it look, well, older. To make it look different from 2006, So, I do not trust that clown. That clown looks like he's about to start shit. What the hell is happening? Oh, they were at the pool and they got someone? So he's out in this... Look at these men just running. On your left! Oh, this guy sucks. He's out of shape.
I'm arresting you on suspicion of armed robbery. You do not have to
Cool.
say anything, but it may harm your No, that's not it, is it? You have the right to remain silent. You nicked!
You nicked. That's all you got. You don't need to say any of that other stuff. It's 73.
My name is Sam Tyler. I had an accident and I woke up in 1973.
Ooh, an intro.
Am I mad? In a coma? Or back in time? Whatever's happened.
You know what? I'm going to call this episode Live and Let Die. That's my title for this. Last episode we'll just call Life on Mars. It's easy enough.
I'm just back in Manchester to visit relatives.
You know, if you were Pinocchio, you'd have just poked my eye out. Can you account for your whereabouts last Saturday?
Cookery classes. I'm having it off with Fanny Craddock.
Ooh! Damn. That was a slap and a half.
Snooker tournament.
Bookies always keep a big float on a major race day, and they get the bank to mark the notes, don't they, Kimmy? So we know you pinch this dough.
There you go. I've never seen that money before in my life!
When Trent and his boys hit the city, it's always a couple of jobs. Bang, bang, in, out. They've done one, we can stop them doing the other.
Great. A fit-up. Sounds!
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll have a little think about that while you have a little think about where Freddy and Brixter are hiding, okay?
Ooh. He is a strong man. You got it. Like, every hit sounds powerful.
Well, I might be able to splash a bit of Dettol in there later. Is that alright, sir?
Yeah, that's bit of diamond. What's your
June.
June? We don't traditionally keep acid and knocked off bling in our offices just so we could get home early.
So you wouldn't have pulled him in?
Not without evidence.
Or even if you knew people out there were in real danger?
People are always in danger, Gov. 1 minute you're going about your business, the next, bang, taken out by a speeding car.
Well, I've taken a speeding car off the road. For good.
That's a complete argument of methods. It's just, when does the result happen, basically?
Chris, these are not suspects. These are witnesses to an armed robbery.
Yeah.
Witnesses, not suspects.
This is gonna be rough.
Yeah, big letters.
So he's
Get
teaching
IDs
Chris how to
on Trent,
be a DI?
Brixter and Wilson.
Whoop! Oh, shit. I didn't even see her there. Oh, no! Man. They introduce her and shoot her immediately. Why is everyone looking at him?
And I want this cleared away.
Oh. Oh.
Don't want any of her left lying on the street.
Came to the jeweler to get it.
And they robbed it because Sam let them go.
Clean it up. I want you to clean it up. She works at the station. She's one of us. And I want to be able to look her dad in the eye and say you cleaned up every drop of her precious blood.
Oh, shit.
I'm better than any of this.
Says you.
Oh, man.
He's smirking at Mona Lisa.
Ah.
Sorry you're lonely, Sam.
Ah, okay.
Are you really lonely here?
Time to beat her with a shoe. Go.
No, I'm not listening.
Don't you think it can be lonely out there?
Oh god, she's just moving on her own.
Do you not like me with my clown?
No.
I can see I make you frown.
Oh no, she's rhyming now.
This end. I'm your friend, your only friend.
Okay, well that could just be a nightmare, man. Turn your TV off before you go to bed. Huh.
If you've come to interview a Gov, she...
Oh!
Oh, that feels better.
You got that out of your system? Oh! 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 Okay.
What on earth is going on?
Nothing.
Police officers.
Wow. They can get away with this. They just need to blow off some steam. Oh, he's got moves.
Oh, you are joking me.
Ah! Moves ain't gonna do nothing. Take it outside, boys.
So you want me out now?
Are you joking? You got to put this right.
The first one to leave the shop slipped. Now, do you know why that's important?
No.
No.
I do. Because the manager said the raider holding the bag took off his left glove so he could zip it up.
What?
Nah. I guess I'm with Chris. I don't know what the hell we're doing.
Stop.
Need to get it dusted for prints.
But forensics are tied up at the moment. Can't get down here for another 3 hours.
Okay, so that's good. Get the prints off of the pipe. That is good.
You can't take Mohammed to the mountain?
How many prints have you put on that pipe between you?
He's a key witness.
So, could you treat him like a person, Phyllis? Remember people? You used to be one.
Not bad for you, boss.
Tuh.
Was it a threat? A warning?
For what?
Talk to me.
He didn't have his mask on. He was talking to the other two.
Oh.
I saw his face.
You filth! Rotten bloody filth! Your mum's filth! And your kids are filth!
Mrs. Trent, why don't you just tell us where we can find your nephew?
Piss off!
Look, if you help me...
There's a very
then I
angry
can call
woman.
him off. Oh, dear.
Thanks for your help, love.
You're a set of bastards, both of you. Do you know that?
Shut up.
Jeez.
Ray doesn't like me, does he?
Well, it's just he was going for inspection, and then when you turned up, it's sort of... No, he hates your guts, boss.
No.
What about you, Chris? Do you think I'm going about things the right way?
I don't know, I suppose.
Thanks, Chris.
Right, it's ready.
Okay, Leonard. Now, this bloke won't be able to touch you. You'll be standing behind special glass, so he won't even be able to see you.
Nope.
Special glass.
Now, I need you to take a ride with me and see if we can find Trent and identify him.
No.
Relax, relax. I'm talking about traveling incognito.
That's how they're traveling?
Ice cream, please! And me!
Oh god. Oh, Gene. The 2 is the specific British middle finger. Oh, I can't make that the thumbnail. You guys aren't gonna like that.
They're in a car right outside. They should be right near you now.
No cars out here at all.
You sure?
Hasn't been a car out here for the last hour.
Oh, that's not a good.
Bastard.
Well, if you give him babysitting jobs, you can't expect him to hang around.
Bloody hunt.
No.
I'm going back inside. Leonard's a bit rattled. Leonard?
Oh no.
920, Annie, love.
Urgent assistance required. Backup! I need backup!
Oh no.
Leonard!
I don't know where the key positions are. I can't read this. It's all changed.
You need the gov. He knows these streets like the back of his hand.
Oh, you gotta get the gov out of there.
Supposed to be protecting Leonard. Oops. Fair cop. I'm going in.
Maybe Leonard is close then. Watch the corners.
Oh, you're right. You hurt. I didn't know what happened to you.
Watches out on the radio.
Ah. There he is. Well, you can track him by feedback. Oh no. Oh! Good job. So much for Brixt. Oh god! It's got wood with nails in it. Not the greatest I've ever seen. I think Steve Harrington's was better, but still. Ah, great.
Place is surrounded. By who? They've left you on your own.
Nah, come on. Ooh!
Nicked, Trent.
Drop it.
Wait, what happened to his stick? Oh. Well, they made it at least.
You don't have to say anything. Just point and...
So they have to do the lineup again.
What if I went back?
To hide.
Is that possible?
I'll get on the floor. Hello, is that the Wizard of Oz? The wizard will sort it out. It's because of the wonderful things he does.
Tuh.
You were transferred here, Sam, at your own request. I didn't ask for you. You wanted to come.
Interesting.
I'll get someone.
Oh. Oh gosh.
I can't open
open the door. Can somebody help me? Hello?
Nothing. Unless life support shut down. It's not my fault.
Oh.
Oh my God. Who's that?
Look, this is Capita. He's leaked down the bed. It's gone into the electrics.
Help me! Somebody open the door!
Oh, crap.
I need to get out!
Problems are happening in the real world.
Get out! Help me! Help! Jake!
Whoop.
Switching it back on.
Ooh.
You in, Tyler? 50p gets you a chair.
Hmm.
Wanna take a leak?
He really doesn't like him.
Deal me.
Should have done this a long time ago. Alright. Alrighty. Alrighty, that is episode 2 of Life on Mars, that I'm going to call Live and Let Die. So, interesting. Very interesting one. So, okay, I'm more... Oh, jeez. Excuse me. I feel a bit more, I don't know, I guess confident about, like, sort of what's going on. At least maybe I can make a more educated guess for the situation, where I think what's really going on is that this is all in a coma. I don't think that Sam has actually gone back in time. I don't think he's actually gone back in time, or is affecting time in any way. It seems like it really just is in his mind, which is interesting, to say the least, you know? It's a very interesting idea for a show, because if that is the case, it is sort of strange, because there's almost, like, no purpose to it, you know? Like, this whole thing with, you know, going through these cases almost doesn't really have a point, you know? So it's an interesting one. Now, that, again, that's specifically going off of the theory that this is all just a coma dream, basically. So, I don't know. Obviously, I feel like there's going to be a bit more with it. We're going to learn more things, and then maybe there'll be some twists and turns along the way. But honestly, it's just a very strange sort of scenario, you know? Like, a story that almost doesn't matter. But it's still very fascinating and very interesting to watch, you know? So yeah. It's all very interesting. We can go ahead and hop into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is Kim Trent, our baddie of the day, our monster of the week, as it were. So I didn't realize how... I mean, I guess I should have guessed after the last episode that this would be a more episodic series than what I'm used to. So that was interesting. That was an interesting sort of, I suppose, revelation with this episode, is the more episodic nature of the show. But that's okay. I'm totally down for that. So yeah. So now, one thing I talked about last episode was I wasn't really sure like what we would do next per se, because last episode the whole thing with that case was finding the guy who ends up, getting out and killing again, and that is the case that Sam was working on in 2006, you know? So, I was curious where we were going with the next episode, and so it just seems to be, not necessarily, it's not about cases that Sam was working on in 2006, it's just cases that are now happening in 1973. So, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And then pretty much the the big things about this episode is basically it's another clash of ideologies between Sam and DCI Hunt, which is interesting. So we had a bit of that last episode too, sort of the different methods and the sort of good cop versus bad cop and stuff like that. But very interesting of, Sam, who is, I guess, the more standard cop. He wants to get all the evidence, lock the person away. Gene, however, his methodology is, let's just put them away no matter what. He knows, yes, Kim Trent is a bad person, let's lock him away for good no matter what. That's basically the big thing. So the whole thing of planting evidence is very, very interesting, and it does raise a good question, because on the one hand, you do want to side with Sam because he's doing the right thing, he's following the rules. It's one of those things. This is one of those interesting situations where you get a good person doing the right thing, but is that the right thing? Is doing the right thing the right thing? It actually becomes an interesting sort of question. So, and I like that idea, So we have Gene, who's trying to do a good thing. He's trying to put Kim Trent away, but he's doing it in a more, in a shadier way, basically. So what do you go with? And yes, if Gene had, gotten his way, he would have locked up Kim Trent that day. They wouldn't have gone to that bank. June would not have been shot. So you do sort of sit back and you think, okay, well, Sam did the right thing, got the case, got it all worked out, and it's all, like you said, it's watertight. It's watertight. I'm fighting off yawning. So, it's all watertight. However, in the process, June was shot. However, that does not mean that what Sam was doing was necessarily wrong, It's just sort of this situation, like, if they had started to get away, and then they caught them later without June being shot, yes, Gene still would have been mad about that, but it wouldn't have been, it would have just been because they got away, and that's it, The thing here is that June got shot, but that is not inherently, like, on a surface level, technically, yes, it is Sam's fault. But when you really think about it, it's not, that was an accident, That was just a tragic accident that happened, So, I don't know. I don't really know where to stand on this, Now, it's interesting, they have Chris. Chris kind of looks familiar, by the way. Should I look him up real quick? Chris, he's been on Doctor Who. He's been on a lot of Doctor Who, actually. Wow, Jesus Christ, he's been on a lot of Doctor Who, apparently. Okay, I don't know, like, what per se. Well, while I'm talking, I will look this up. So the whole thing. So what we do, which side do you choose? I don't think you can really choose a particular side, It's very difficult. I would want to lean more towards Sam's side, because it is the right thing to do, But on the other hand, Gene does bring up some good points, But they put in that scene with he was in the Rebel Flesh and the Almost People as Buzzer. Well, I do sort of recognize him from that episode now, so okay, interesting. I don't think there's anything else. Okay, so I do slightly remember him from that, from those episodes. Okay, whatever. So I like that they put in that scene with Chris, because Chris is kind of an interesting character, actually, because, we got that scene of Sam basically kind of teaching him how to be a DI, and him, like, taking notes, and he seems to be sort of, I guess maybe he's more of the oblivious one on the team, which is pretty interesting, but I like when Sam, says, like, do you think I'm doing the right thing? And Chris says, well, I don't know. I suppose you are. And then that's just that, Chris doesn't outright hate him. The only one who seems to really kind of outright hate him is Ray, which is interesting. And it's interesting because we don't really get a lot with Ray, so to suddenly have that is a bit weird. But yeah, so it was good having that scene in there with Chris, because it's, you want to lean more towards Sam, but Gene's not necessarily wrong, he's getting people off the streets, and I like the metaphor they use, one day you may just, you may get hit by a car, and Gene says, and I was going to take the car off the street for good, So, I don't know. I'd be curious, what you guys think. Would you agree more with Sam of, hey, let's do this the right way. We can't, just throw him away without any evidence. Let's get all the evidence we can and then throw him away. Or do you agree with Gene, where it's, look, we know he's bad. He knows he's bad. Let's put him away at any cost, and put him away today with whatever evidence we have, whatever evidence we can put on him, So, I don't know. It's an obvious sort of lean toward, I feel like it's an obvious lean towards Sam. You want to lean towards Sam, but you can't, you can't ignore what Gene does, You can't ignore Gene's methods, So, yeah. So, June ended up getting shot, and that was, it was interesting because it took me a minute. Well, first off, it was interesting how, they introduced June, and then immediately she's shot, and it's like, oh man, I don't even have that much of a connection with her, but I'm already like, oh man. But then it took me a little bit, because when they were all looking at Sam, I didn't quite understand it, but it took me a minute. It's like, oh. And now, why everyone was looking at them, I wasn't quite sure. Like, I thought some of those people were just, bystanders, but maybe not. I guess it was just most of the people that were at the station. But yeah, when it really panned over, I think it really hit me when it panned over to Gene, and I was like, oh, it's because Sam and Gene didn't put them away that now June has been shot. So yeah, it took me a minute, but I finally realized. It's also interesting, that scene is so intense. When he's like, you clean it all up. I want to be able to tell her dad that you cleaned up every single last drop of blood. And Sam holding to his guns. Yes, he feels completely guilty about what happened there, but he said, we had no evidence. I like he still holds to his values, He still holds to being an honorable cop, So I like that. I wrote down, when they were able to sort of blow off steam and just had that little fight. That was interesting. I like that. Because they both were heated, and then they, both were like, okay, what's done is done. Let's get this guy. We got to do it the right way now. Let's just get this guy and, do this. So I do like that where, everyone else was sort of skeptical, like, oh, I don't know, should we go with, what he says? But I like that Gene, yes, whether he likes Sam or not, that's open for debate. And yes, he completely blamed Sam for what happened with June. But after a little while, he was able to calm down, and he knew it's him and Sam. They have to get him now. I like how he says, you have to make this right, So I like that he can set aside whatever anger he has with Sam because the two of them need to now get this job done and get Trent. So that was really good. Gene, honestly, he's a very interesting character. He's a good foil to Sam, honestly. And I like that he's not just, the hard-ass boss or anything like that, but he is, he is, three-dimensional. There is a lot to his character and a lot of, I guess nuance? I don't know, but there's a lot more to his character than just he's the guy that, he's the hard-ass boss and stuff like that. So I like that. Water. Water is good. Anyway. Girl with the Clown, why? Why? That might not have even been a part of like this is just part of like his dream or whatever. Like that was just sort of weird. So it didn't really offer anything, I don't feel like. So yeah, Girl with the Clown was there. It was terrifying. She started if a little girl holding a clown doll starts aggressively rhyming at you, your life is pretty screwed up. So we had the whole thing with Leonard, which was interesting, and the lineup. I did like, again, good moments in this when, Sam says something that makes sense in 2006 but doesn't in 1973, where it's like, when he's trying to, like, he's at the beginning, he tries reading rights, but he's like, no, wait, it's not that, what is it? And then just Gene is like, you nicked! It's like, yeah, you don't need to read them their rights in 1973. So that was funny. But then the other thing is like, you're pretty much going to be in another room. You're going to be behind glass that, special glass they can't break. They won't even be able to see you. And then they just line up in the cafeteria or whatever. So that was funny. And then, Gene later is like, special glass, So that's always still really funny. But yeah, we had the whole thing with Leonard. And that was interesting, because we start off with, trying to get the prince off of the pipe. But then realizing that Leonard was able, he did see that entire thing. He saw them, and he could identify Trent. So I like that. And then we had the whole thing at the estate or something, at that place where Annie was keeping an eye on him for a while, and then those two, they just drove off because they didn't care. And so that was Ray. Was it Ray and Chris, or was it Ray and someone else? I don't remember. It might have been, well, it was definitely Ray, and he just left because he didn't care. He doesn't like Sam anyway, so he just left. Despite the fact that that is not his job, he was given an order and he should have followed it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do anything else with Ray, because last episode I didn't even know Ray was a character. Like he was just like, all right, he's one of the other guys there, whatever. This episode they make a bit of a bigger deal about him. They at least give us his name, and they're like, oh well, he wanted to be DI, but then you came along, so he doesn't really like you. And then getting that with they're not there looking after Leonard was interesting. So yeah, that was interesting. And then going in, not really, the climax, which didn't really it wasn't that big, but maybe that's for the best, where it wasn't like a big fight or anything. Excuse me, Chase. So yeah, so we had Brick, who he's got the chain, he's gonna do something, and Sam just knocks him out with a pipe, and that's it. But then Trent had the gun. It is interesting. I keep reminding myself every time they get into a big squabble. I always remind myself, yeah, they don't have guns. So it's just sort of interesting to see, which honestly, it's interesting because I'm so used to guns just in American television, you know? Whether it's, you know, just any television, any American television show that has a cop, they have a gun. So it's kind of interesting to see almost how they get out of a situation without a gun of some sort, you know? So it's just very, very fascinating to watch, you know? Like, they basically just had to hold out, and luckily Jean did get there and knocked them out. So, yeah. So that was really interesting. So we also got knowledge that we got the information that Sam apparently requested to transfer there himself. He wanted to be there, which is interesting. So, again, we don't really know what that means in terms of the coma, if that is, you know, what's going on or something. We're not really sure, so we'll definitely have to see. But yeah, but it was very interesting. We had the whole scene with the life support, where the life support was starting to go. And yeah, like inside, seeing how that, you know, translates into the world of 1973 is very interesting to see. And, you know, a bit terrifying. And it is interesting, you know, he called out to Jean when he was distressed. And then the last thing I wrote down is deal in. Now, I find it interesting, you know, after the whole thing with the life support and everything like that, he goes there and Jean asks him, "Are you in? Are you in, Tyler?" He goes over and he says, "Deal me in." And I feel like that's almost his mind accepting the reality around him, you know? It's his mind not waking up. The more he, like, it's almost, and I guess sort of because he did this last episode too, that at the end of both of these episodes, there is something where he makes the choice to stay in this world. Last time it was to, you know, walk away from the ledge with Annie. This time it's to join the poker game. So I have caught that both episodes have ended with Sam, you know, accepting the world and, you know, basically accepting this world as real, you know? So I'm wondering if that's maybe going to be a continuing thing. Maybe we see more of that, how that all works out. So yeah, just an interesting thing I caught. But yeah, another good episode, definitely. And I am very curious to see where we're going next time, what our next case will be. We will have to see. But yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Life on Mars reactions, there is a playlist on screen as well as another video you can click on if you want to go see more of my stuff. There's a subscribe button and a Patreon button as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys next time.